Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. Sparks are all set to fly in the Lok Sabha on Wednesday as it takes up the Waqf Amendment Bill, which has met with strong resistance from opposition parties. After 8 hours of proposed discussion, Minorities Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju will respond to the debate. He will also seek the approval of the House for the passage of the bill. Now, opposition MPs had reiterated that they will actively protest the tabling of the Waqf Bill, but what we hear right now is that the Congress party will also be taking part in the discussion. Now, what does this bill aim to do? It aims to implement changes into the existing rules of the state Waqf boards. Some important changes include inclusion of non-Muslims in Waqf councils and even doing away with the Waqf by user provision. Now, the Speaker has set 8 hours for the debate, extendable after taking sense of the House. TDP, an NDA ally, has said that it is reading the final print of the bill and that the amendments it sought have already been accepted. While JDU's MP Sanjay Jha has highlighted the party's position, saying that the bill should not be implemented with retrospective effect. As the Waqf Amendment Bill gets reintroduced, will it take the country by storm? How will the discussion around it play out politically, specifically in Bihar, where elections are slated later this year? Will it deepen the fissures that exist between communities, or will it be seen as a much-needed reform that will lead to transparency and accountability in the management of Waqf properties? That is what we discuss tonight, but first let's look at some political reactions.
Before the committee that tomorrow on 2nd April, we are bringing the Waqf Amendment Bill. Some of the members wanted 4 hours, some members wanted 6 hours, the opposition parties wanted 12 hours. So finally there was an agreement that the total time to be allocated for discussion on Waqf Amendment Bill would be 8 hours. If some political parties are trying to create some excuse so that they can run away from the discussion, that would be unfortunate, because the nation wants to listen the points raised by various political parties.
India Alliance parties and all, along with other like-minded parties, on the introduction stage itself is opposing the anti-constitutional provisions of Waqf Bill. Waqf Bill, Amendment Bill, basically it is a targeted legislation. And it is fundamentally against the constitutional provisions. We cannot support the provisions against the constitution. All the parties who attended the meeting, all the parties of India Alliance attended the meeting, and some more like-minded party will also be there tomorrow. We will also strongly oppose the provisions. Along with the India Alliance, we are requesting the like-minded parties also. Because this is a clear-cut violation on constitution. The people who believe in the constitution will definitely vote against this.
पूरा अपनी बात को रखेंगे दलील के साथ और बताएंगे कि कैसा ये बिल अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है, कैसा ये मुसलमानों के फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन की मुखालिफत करता है, कैसा ये मुसलमानों के चैरिटेबल रिलीजियस प्रैक्टिसेस से उनको महरूम करता है, ये हम कल बताएंगे। इमोशनल कनेक्ट है वक्फ का मैटर्स का मुस्लिम समाज से, क्योंकि ये हमारे लिए एक इबादत है, ये नमाज की तरह नहीं और इबादत है ये। अगर आप हमारी मस्जिदों को, दरगाहों को जो अल्लाह के नाम पे प्रॉपर्टी वफ़ कर दी गई है, उससे अगर आप हमको महरूम कर रहे हैं तो फिर जाहिर है ये तो हमारे लिए बड़ा इमोशनल और बड़ी तकलीफदेह बात रहेगी। तो ये समझ नहीं रहे हैं।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी का हर फैसला वोट के लिए, अपने लोगों को खुश करने के लिए। ये वक्फ बिल के खिलाफ समाजवादी पार्टी है, पहले भी थी, आगे भी रहेगी। जिस तरह के संशोधन भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर रही है, वो पूरा कंट्रोल अपने पास चाहते हैं। जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव पावर है वो पूरा का पूरा अपने पास रखना चाहते हैं। इस देश ने वो समय भी देखा है कि जिस समय एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव गलत फैसले की वजह से भारत की जो संस्कृति रही, भाईचारा रहा, उसके खिलाफ खाई पैदा की है।
BJP MP Aparajita Sarangi joins us now. Thank you, Ms. Sarangi, for joining us on this debate. Ma'am, you've also been part of the JPC on Waqf. How satisfied are you that the JPC finally, consulted a lot of people, getting feedback from different quarters? But how do you look at the opposition's charge that this bill is anti-constitutional, unconstitutional, and will put at risk the properties that belong to Waqf boards?
baseless charges from the opposition. Opposition intentionally does not want to reason out this entire Waqf matter. And thirdly, they are opposing just for the opposition's sake. And fourth, and very important, they want to remain relevant in the present context, and that is why they are opposing. Now here let me tell you that there has been a very meticulous exercise. I have been part of this entire process for the past 6 months. And as you know, 22nd of August 2024 was our first meeting, the JPC meeting. 38 sittings were held. Everybody's opinion was taken on board. We sat for more than 118 hours. And thereafter 655 pages report was tabled by the JPC. Now here I am delighted to tell you that tomorrow we are going to debate on the different amendments that have been proposed by the JPC in the Lok Sabha. Now let me be very clear about the whole thing. 44 amendments had been proposed by the government on 8th of August 24 when the bill was first brought to the Lok Sabha. It went to the JPC, and in respect of 44 amendments, ultimately 14 amendments were accepted. So what I am trying to tell you is, whatever listening that we did, whatever hearing that was made, in fact we took into cognizance all the views, all the comments, and then in respect of 14 amendments, we actually went by what the other people said, what the opposition said. So to say that we did not listen to the opposition is far from the truth.
Okay.
One after the other, in fact, I can list out what we have accepted. So I think tomorrow is going to be a great day for all of us, and there should be debate backed by reason, backed by logic, backed by convincing arguments.
So you're
and
saying
before I conclude, let me tell you that I have gone to Munambam, Kerala twice. And you are aware of the fact what's going on in Munambam.
Yeah.
Munambam is an area actually dominated by fishermen, poor fishermen. 404 acres of 600 fishermen families actually declared Waqf property. And that is why the Kerala Catholic Bishops' Council has come out and requested all the Kerala MPs to actually come forward and support the government stand on Waqf Bill.
Right. So Munambam, of course, has become a national issue, ma'am. And I understand that, you also say that the JPC has worked in a very democratic fashion. This has also been echoed by a lot of people. The 2024 bill proposes allowing a non-Muslim CEO and at least 2 non-Muslim members to be appointed by the state governments. But the JPC allowed 2 amendments to this provision, that the appointee shall be an officer who is a joint secretary level or higher, and that she will have knowledge of Muslim law and jurisprudence. But the opposition and a section of Muslims are asking why non-Muslims should be part of Waqf boards, given that it's a religious matter. How will you look at this criticism, which has in some ways become the pivotal point of the criticism that this bill could be facing?
No, see, this is unfortunate. You have to look at it from the right perspective. The point is, the entire state Waqf board should be more inclusive. And what's wrong if we say it should be more inclusive? In 1913, when we had the amendment, women had been added. So women have been there. And then thereafter we thought, why not non-Muslims too? So I think minimum 2 non-Muslims have been included, and I think there is absolutely nothing we are talking of inclusivity. We are talking of all the diverse groups, and that is why this has been done. One major contention of the opposition was the collector should not decide as to whether a particular property is Waqf property or not. In fact, there was a lot of debate on this particular suggestion of the opposition, and we saw logic in it. And thereafter, what ultimately has gone to the Lok Sabha tomorrow, that would be argued, that would be debated upon. We actually agreed to what the opposition said. Now here, we have brought in a person, an officer above the level of the collector, who would be entrusted with the job of proper inquiry and would find out as to whether a property is Waqf property or not. So I think wherever there was logic, wherever there was argument, all these logic and argument have been brought in, and I told you 14 amendments to the 44 amendments have been effected. So I think there would be good debate tomorrow, and the ultimate intention of the government must be understood by one and all.
Okay.
The intention is to ensure effective management of the 9 lakh Waqf properties across the country.
Right.
In 2006, we had the Sachar committee report which said these Waqf properties, if you monetize them, it led to about rupees 1.2 lakh crore rupees. That was the worth of these 9 lakh properties. So I think you can imagine the kind
Absolutely.
of,
Some sort of
properties
revenue
that we
generation, there's
have,
scope
and we
for that.
need effective management.
Yes. Ms. Sarangi, also do you expect support
Absolutely.
from different quarters apart from BJP, because we saw the Bishops' Council also support the Waqf Amendment Bill yesterday, and also Mr. Owaisi has been saying that implementation of a bill like this will also lead to administrative chaos, loss of autonomy and increased government control. What kind of, do you anticipate a smooth implementation once the bill gets passed?
Well, that's a very pertinent question. See, we have plethora of bills and laws. In fact, this particular bill had been amended in 2013 too, and we have the Principal Act of 1995, and this act is not very new. This has been there since 1913. There have been 9 times this legislation has undergone changes. So now here is a very freshly done, meticulously done Waqf Act 2025 once it is passed, if the bill is passed. So what I am trying to say is, the ultimate thing boils down to proper implementation. We may have an act, we had 9 times legislation of this kind, but then ultimately it boils down to whether we are able to implement it properly or not. Yes, I agree with you. We need to go for proper implementation of the provisions of the act. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Sarangi, for joining us on this broadcast. We also have Mayank Sinha of the JDU joining us. Mayank, to you first, the JDU is in a lot of spotlight now because there is a certain sense that, elections in Bihar are coming up and that is going to be really, very keenly watched. What is going to be the JDU's official position? We also have Shadab Shams, who's the chairperson of the Waqf board in Uttarakhand. Thank you, both of you, for joining me. To you, Mr. Sinha first, tell us, how is the JDU looking at this, looking at the Waqf Amendment Bill? Would you have hoped that this would have come, this would have come a little later, maybe after the polls in Bihar?
No. Congress party is sitting for Muslims in the entire nation. And Nitish Kumar is the true messiah for the minority and the Muslim community. Our leader, our party clarified the stands before the JPC, and the right time it will be come to tomorrow. So we are the part of the government. And the second thing is that several members of the Muslim community have met our chief minister and discussed the issues and regarding for this bill. And we have put all the issues before the JPC, and JPC will look all the matters very seriously. We have put some suggestions before the JPC, and it will be considered. Hope the bill will become tomorrow in the interest for the nation, the welfare of the Muslim community. The bill is not retrospective. The bill is in the favor for the Muslim community in the entire nation. So we have put 3 suggestions before the JPC, and might be it will be considered. So tomorrow we will decide. तो आप उसमें अब कांग्रेस पार्टी क्या बोलती है उसको छोड़ो आप.
I'll have to just interrupt you. Congress MP Nasir Hussain also joins us now. Thank you, Mr. Hussain, for joining us on NDTV. I wanted to ask you this. After being repeatedly amended in 1959, 62, 64, 69 and 84 for want of better administration of Waqf properties, the 1954 Act, I understand, was repealed and a new legislation in 1995 was introduced, and that also held wide-ranging discussions. So there have been constant attempts to bring in changes here. There's this understanding, sir, that Waqf institutions need to be checked because there have been cases like Munambam, which is very close to Karnataka and Kerala. At a time like this, how is the Congress party going to defend its position of saying that this bill is unconstitutional?
Obviously, the bill is unconstitutional. Obviously, this bill is based on falsity, based on misinformation campaign, based on an idea to create a permanent vote bank, based on the campaign that they have started believing in. It is extremely clear by now that Bharatiya Janata Party didn't have any kind of data to back up their claims. I was part of JPC. It was a sham. all these things which Madam Aparajita Sarangi was claiming is non-stakeholders were called for JPC meetings. After this stakeholders meeting, it is the duty of the JPC chairman and the committee to provide the members of the committee with all the minutes, with all the data, with all the reports and the presentations that we had asked for from the stakeholders. That were not given. Finally, in any JPC, when all the stakeholders are met, when all the discussions are over, when all the tours are over, clause-by-clause discussion takes place. This is for the first time in the history of parliamentary democracy in our country that no clause-to-clause discussion has taken place in JPC. They straight away went to voting. They bulldozed it, and now they are saying that they have committed 14 amendments. Which are these 14 amendments? These amendments were moved by the MPs of the treasury bunches. Not even one amendment moved by the opposition MPs in JPC has been accepted. Not even one. Not even one amendment has been accepted. Now she was mentioning about people to be there from other communities in the Waqf board.
Right.
Can she list me one board in the country belonging to other religions, belonging to other communities, which has a member from other community in those boards? I can list you about 25 boards, about 20 to 30 boards belonging to different communities in the country in different states. Only a person belonging to that community can be the member. Even the officer has to be the member of that community.
No, Mr. Hussain, I completely agree with you on that point, sir. But even temples have government oversight, right? Matters related to temples often go to courts. So why not Waqf properties?
No, obviously, who said Waqf property doesn't go to court? Who says that? And tribunals, why are the tribunals formed? Why do we have about 1920 tribunals in the country? Why do other boards belonging to other communities have tribunals? Why is there the decision of the tribunal binding? It is simply because you have a domain expert. You have so many cases in that particular department. Instead of burdening the courts, the tribunal takes care of most of these cases. Now, what you tell me? Forget about the land issue. Land issue, it can be we can have something else for that. Land issue. See, who will deal with the committees? Do you think the courts in India should be looking after the committees of masjids and dargahs and eidgahs and qabristans?
Right.
Do you think they should be dealing with the maslak sects and subsects? Do you think they should be dealing with what kind of prayers should be offered or not offered? Or what will be the rituals? What will be the customs and traditions to be followed in the masjids and dargahs? That the court has to deal with these things? Right. Don't you think court has a better business to deal with things? I agree. There are issues with the land because lots of land is there in the Waqf board. But then every tribunal has this power of giving decision. And this is not Waqf tribunal. This is not constituted by Waqf. Right. This is constituted by the state government, where a sitting district judge presides on it.
Okay. And there's another thing about monetization, because everybody, at least in the ruling party, has been talking about how the potential income of Waqf properties could be as high as 20,000 crore. In fact, the Sachar committee also makes a mention of this. But now the revenue generated is just about 200 crore. Do you think that is a worry? Because people are saying that by better administration.
I got your point. I'm glad that the Bharatiya Janata Party is quoting such a committee. Do you know what Bharatiya Janata Party had said when such a committee report was placed in the parliament? The kind of statements that were given by Murli Manohar Joshi, Sushma Swaraj, Arun Jaitley, and the other leaders. Now, why are they trying to pick up conveniently from such a committee? Point number one. Point number two, BJP has been there in power from 2014. When did the last amendment come to Waqf board? 2013.
Yes.
And they supported 2013 amendment. If they and that amendment had clearly said there will be a national Waqf Development Corporation with a 500 crore seed capital. What happened to that? Why did the Modi government didn't look into those issues? What was Modi government doing in the last 11 years? They could have monetized. They could have helped the Waqf board to create revenue generating properties.
Right.
They could have helped Waqf board to get monetized.
Okay.
That didn't happen during BJP's period. BJP never constituted the Central Waqf Council.
Right.
There is no work board constituted in all the BJP ruled states.
Okay.
Now they are saying that they're telling the world that as if they want to bring in transparency, accountability, they want to help work boards to be monetized, they want to help the poorer Muslims, poorer Muslims to get benefit out of the work board. Can they tell me from where will the revenue come in the work board? Do you think the work board should start charging the Muslims going to offer namaz 5 times? कि आप इतनी बार नमाज पढ़ने तो इतना पैसा दे के जाइए, टिकट लेके नमाज पढ़ने जाइए. If somebody expires, for him to be buried, do you think we should charge for the burial?
Okay. So, Mr. Hussain, I'm just hoping all of you take part in the discussion tomorrow and these points are raised. Which brings me to my last question, sir. How is the Congress party going to approach, the passage or the reintroduction of this bill? Will you be participating in the discussion? Because there is a certain sense that you would be protesting. There's a meeting tomorrow that Rahul Gandhi has called. How will the Congress party approach the reintroduction of this bill? Will you be participating in the discussion?
Let me first make it clear. The Waqf Act is pre-independence. This something to do with Waqf regulations, body, boards came in the late 1800s during the British regime. That continued. All the governments till now, including the Modi government, have said that there should be Waqf boards, that there should be regulation, there should be transparency, etc., etc. This is nothing that was created by the Congress party. It was already there. And this is there for all the communities. There are endowment boards for Hindus.
Yes.
There are Hindu religious acts. There is the SGPC. There is Christian council and commissions in different states. So Waqf is only an Islamic name, but similar boards are there for all communities. That is what our constitution gives us the right to have something. That is one thing. Second, 1995, the Mother Act, and 2013, the amendment that was brought in the parliament, it was all supported by all these parties. And after that, once that amendment was over, BJP came in power. So BJP should have actually implemented 2013 Act in letter and spirit, and all the kind of accusation they are now making against Congress party and against the Waqf board is uncalled for. So I think it is unconstitutional to interfere in some communities' religious affairs, to try and poke their noses in that, trying to bring people from the other communities, trying to snatch away their lands, remove the democratic spirit of the Waqf boards and Waqf council and make it nomination in character. See, all these things that are there to be debated, we would definitely love to be the part of the debate, place our point of view, and mobilize the opposition to vote against the draconian law, because we believe Bharatiya Janata Party did not get enough numbers to do away with the constitution, to change the constitution. That's why they are attacking the constitution in bits and pieces by bringing these kind of laws.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hussain. We hope to hear some of these arguments tomorrow. Tomorrow, of course, a lot of explosive stuff, especially the Waqf Amendment Bill coming up. Thank you, Nasir Hussain, Congress MP, for joining us. Mr. Shams, you heard the Congress person, speaking in complete opposition to the Waqf amendments. What do you think, sir, and what has been your experience specifically in Uttarakhand? Because there have been these individual cases specifically from Kerala, Tamil Nadu. What has been the experience of the state Uttarakhand?
First of all, the people who are opposing this bill are not Muslims. वो जो अपोज कर रहे हैं वो मुस्लिम्स हैं ही नहीं, वो पॉलिटिकल मुस्लिम्स हैं. मैं बिल्कुल सहमत हूँ डॉक्टर नासिर हुसैन जो बोल रहे थे. ये सब लोग अपनी राजनीतिक रोटियां सेकना चाहते हैं. ये लोग सत्ता तक जाने का ये बहाना ढूंढ रहे हैं. जो कमज़ोर मुस्लिम वक्फ इज़ फॉर पुअर पीपल्स, लेकिन क्या गरीबों को उसका हक मिला? 75 सालों में इतने अमेंडमेंट्स हुए, तब तो आपने किसी ने अपोज नहीं किया. आज अगर मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी के बारे में मोदी गवर्नमेंट कुछ अच्छा सोच रही है तो अब आप अपोज कर रहे हैं. हम ये कह रहे हैं आपको मौका मिला ना 75 साल, आपने क्या किया सबने देखा. ये जो वक्फ था ये गरीब लोगों के लिए था, ये यतीमों के लिए था, मिस्किनों के लिए था, लेकिन क्या उनको इसका फ़ायदा मिला? नहीं मिला. तो क्यों नहीं मिला? क्योंकि उसके ऊपर तो कुछ अमीर पॉलिटिकल लोग बैठे थे. कांग्रेस के बड़े बड़े लीडर्स का इंक्रोचमेंट है वक्फ प्रॉपर्टीज़ के ऊपर. अब आप मेरे यहाँ उत्तराखंड में देखिए, नैनीताल एक जगह है, नैनीताल में रामगढ़ है. कांग्रेस के बहुत बड़े नेता हुए अकबर अहमद डम्पी, उन्होंने रिसोर्ट बनाया हुआ है 200 बीघा के ऊपर. क्या है ये गरीबों के लिए? क्या आपके लिए है, कांग्रेस के लिए? ऐसी दूसरे कांग्रेस के सांसद हुए, एक पार्लियामेंटेरियन है वो सईदुज़्ज़मा, मुजफ्फरनगर से वो MP थे. उन्होंने कलियर के ऊपर कब्जा किया हुआ है। हमने अभी सेक्शन 54 में उनको नोटिस किया है कि इसको खाली कीजिए। बात यह है कि ये खुद लूटर्स हैं, इन्होंने वक्फ को लूटा है और आज ये दिखा रहे हैं कि हम बड़े हमदर्द हैं कम्युनिटी के। मोदी गवर्नमेंट ये चाहती है बहुत ईमानदारी के साथ कि गरीबों को उसका हक मिल जाए, और बहुत ईमानदारी के साथ ये जो बता रहे हैं कि ये क्लॉज है, ये क्लॉज है, ये क्लॉज है। आप बताइए, एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव पावर नहीं है वक्फ बोर्ड के पास, ये डस्टबिन है। मैं एज अ वक्फ बोर्ड चेयरमैन मैं ये कह सकता हूं कि अगर कहीं वक्फ की लैंड के ऊपर कोई ग्रैब कर रहा है उसको, या उसके ऊपर कोई अनऑथराइज्ड पोजीशन ले रहा है, तो हमारे पास पावर नहीं है कि हम उसे रोक सकें। ये अच्छा बिल है। उसमें तो आप लोगों ने उल्टा अपनी संभाली नहीं जा रही है प्रॉपर्टी, दूसरे की प्रॉपर्टी के ऊपर आप निगाह रखें।
लोगों का कहना, क्रिटिक्स का ये भी कहना है कि एनक्रोचर्स को ये एम्पावर करता है।
नहीं करता है। इंक्रोचर्स को अगर एम्पावर करता तो ये जो लोग ऑपोजिशन में चिल्ला रहे हैं ये नहीं चिल्ला रहे होते। ये सारे के सारे जो ऑपोजिशन में हैं ये सब इंक्रोचर हैं वक्फ के। बताइए, ये पूरी लिस्ट है मेरे पास। मैंने बताया कि ओवैसी साहब बेनिफिशियरी नहीं है वक्फ के, या मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड का एक मेंबर बता दीजिए जिसके पास वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टीज ना हो। ये सारे के सारे बेनिफिशियरी हैं और इसलिए चिल्ला रहे हैं क्योंकि इनको मालूम है इनकी प्रॉपर्टी चली जाएगी। इनको गरीबों से, गरीब मुस्लिम से, पुअर जो मुस्लिम हैं उनसे कोई लेना देना नहीं है। इनका लेना देना सिर्फ और सिर्फ इस बात से है कि इनकी प्रॉपर्टी बच जाए। ये गरीबों मुसलमानों को भड़का रहे हैं, ये देश को जलाना चाहते हैं, ये देश को अनस्टेबल करना चाहते हैं, जिससे इनकी राजनीतिक रोटियां ये सेकते रहें, क्योंकि इतनी कमजोर हो गया है ऑपोजिशन कि उसमें इतना दम नहीं है कि वो अपने दम पे अपनी लड़ाई को लड़ सके। इसलिए बैसाखी के रूप में वो मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी को, जो गरीब और इलिटरेट है, उसका इस्तेमाल कर वो अपनी राजनीतिक रोटियां सेकना चाहता है, सत्ता तक जाना चाहता है। इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं है।
Right. Mr. Sinha, JDU has 12 MPs and there's a lot of anticipation as to what position you take tomorrow. Recently we saw the iftar parties that was hosted by the Chief Minister. It was boycotted by, some of these organizations, including Imarat-e-Sharia. How do you see this playing out electorally before Bihar elections? Do you see this being weaponized by the opposition in the state of Bihar?
No. Our leader Nitish Kumar ji has a long in politics, and they work for the interest of the people, would be protected over there. And our 18 years in the state of Bihar, during the work, during this time, he has worked so many things in the welfare of the Muslim community, in the welfare of the minority. So this should not be not be anything against for us. So the bill is very clear in the interest of the nation, and this bill is not retrospective. Earlier I said to you, and I clarified to you, this bill is not retrospective. This bill is in the interest for the nation, welfare of the minority community, Muslim people, and our party also give some suggestions before the JPC, and we will place it. So अब कल का देखते हैं, इंतजार कीजिए, ठीक ना? We will give some suggestion before JPC.
Mr. Shams, last word from you, sir. आपको लगता है कि इलेक्टोरली इसका जैसे वक्फ बाय यूसर जो है उसको जिस तरह कैंसिल किया गया है, या तो फिर नॉन मुस्लिम का इंक्लूजन है, these are वेरी बिग फ्लैश पॉइंट्स, आपको लगता है इससे कोई फर्क पड़ेगा?
क्या नॉन मुस्लिम और मुस्लिम्स की बात कर रहे हैं? जेपी जो CWC है, इसका चेयरमैन कौन होता है? मिनिस्टर ऑफ माइनॉरिटी। तो मिनिस्टर ऑफ माइनॉरिटी को बदल देंगे आप कि वो मुस्लिम नहीं है? तो क्या मजाक बनाया है? अगर जुडिशरी में जो ट्रिब्यूनल के मेंबर्स होते हैं, क्या वो मुस्लिम्स होते हैं? वो जज आपके पास जुडिशरी का जो जजेस होते हैं, क्या वो मुस्लिम्स होते हैं? क्या मजाक बनाया? ये सिर्फ गुमराह कर रहे हैं और टोटली लोगों को कंफ्यूज किया हुआ है। ये किसी भी कीमत पर ये चाहते हैं कि जो प्रॉपर्टी की लूट ऑपोजिशन के लीडर्स ने की है, उनके पॉलिटिकल वर्कर्स ने की है, उसको रोका जा सके, उसको वो वापस ना आए लैंड। जबकि मोदी गवर्नमेंट ये चाहती है कि वो जो प्रॉपर्टी उनके पास है उनसे लेके उसको एम्पावरमेंट के लिए ऑफ पुअर मुस्लिम्स, उसके लिए लगाया जाए। मुझे उम्मीद है कि आने वाला वक्त बहुत बेहतर होगा, इसीलिए वक्त को नाम दिया है उम्मीद। और किरण रिजिजू जी वो किरण हैं, और उम्मीद की किरण गरीब मुस्लिम्स को साफ नजर आ रही है मोदी जी से, और हम उम्मीद कर रहे हैं कि कल पार्लियामेंट में ये पास भी होगा और एक बहुत अच्छा फ्यूचर आने वाले मुस्लिम्स को, जो गरीब मुस्लिम्स हैं, उनको देखने के लिए मिलेगा।
Thank you, Mr. Shams. Thank you, Mr.
so
Sinha,
much.
for joining us. The stage is all set for a major political battle in the Parliament tomorrow, as the controversial Waqf Amendment Bill is all set to be tabled, reintroduced in the Lok Sabha. While the BJP-led NDA is confident of its numbers, key allies TDP, JDU will play a crucial role in deciding the bill's fate. While the opposition is saying that it violates the rights of the Muslim community, the spotlight now is on the 8-hour speakers from different parties who are likely to bring out reasons for their support or opposition to the bill.